Hi, and welcome to part 5 of our series of videos of working with products from Archer Fine Transfers. Today we're going to go over how to apply surface details. Now, what are surface details? Surface details are resin objects that are cast on the clear microscale decal film. They are not graphic representations of three-dimensional objects. They are indeed three-dimensional resin objects. We have as of today, we've got like 70 different sheets. A lot of this stuff is available for railroad modelers, such as the rivets and louvers. And we also have a good selection of things for people that are building 1/35th scale armor, including foundry symbols and weld beads and what have you. To work with these, the tools that we'll be using today is a pair of scissors, a hobby knife, a paintbrush with, this is what's called a liner. It has long, the hair is real long, it holds a lot of water, and it's real good for, this is a good particular brush for working with this, but any paintbrush will do. You don't have to be that crazy about this stuff. And you'll need some hemostats, a cup of water. Now, and microscale setting solution. Do not bother with microset. It has absolutely no effect on what we're going to be doing. Microsol will soften the decal, and it will help it adhere better, and will also later on I'll show you how to make this. Show you how to make the surface details go around a curved object, and we'll be using this for that. Now, I'm not sure if any other setting solutions work as well as this. Microsol's been around since day one in model building. It's always worked well for me, and I've never found any reason to use anything any different, so this is what we recommend. And you'll also need a paper towel. Okay, to get started, first thing you want to do is cut the object that you want off from the sheet. Since we're going to be working with rivets, we'll start with that. And the application process is the same regardless of which one you're using. And once you get it cut off, trim it to the length that you want. Take your hobby knife and just slice through the clear film, so that when it gets wet and it slides off, you'll be able to hold it on one end without it pulling. And you take your hemostats and you clip the end. Like that. Then you want to wet the decal. And essentially that's what these are, they're decals. Now you can either dip it in water, or what I like to do is I take my brush and dip it in the water and then brush it against the back edge of the decal. Now, you're going to want to let this set for about a minute. Okay, after it's set for about a minute, what you do is get your part, and you take and you lay it down, lay your rivets down where you want them. Take your hobby knife and just grab one of the ends and pull straight out. And now you let that dry. Now I'm going to use a hair dryer to dry this, but I'm going to turn the camera off so you don't have to listen to all that screeching while I do it. I'll be right back. Okay, now that this is dry, what you're going to want to do is take your microsol, take your brush. You don't need a new brush or any other kind of fancy brush. You just take this and dry it off with a paper towel. And then what you're going to want to do is lay a good coat of this over top the whole decal. Now what this will do is it will soften the decal film and increase the adhesion. What that does what this means is that the setting solution will get underneath of the decal, and as it evaporates, it will, the decal film will displace the evaporated setting solution and form a good strong bond. Now the bond is not strong enough for you to go picking at it with your fingernails or your hobby knife or anything like that. You've got to be careful, and these are delicate things, but they will, and that's not to say that they don't stand up well under normal handling. They do. These things are used by professional model builders all over the world. We get lots of good compliments on this stuff. They're fine just the way they are. Now I'm going to turn the camera off again and dry this. Okay, now that the setting solution is dry, you can see that there's virtually no shiny parts or silvering or anything going on here. They are on there as good as they're going to get, and they will handle, and you can touch them. They're not going to fall off. They're just fine just the way they are. Normal handling. If you pick at it with your fingernail, it's going to come off, of course. Alright, now we're going to show you how to make them go around a corner. Now keep in mind that these are resin, so solid things like some of our arc weld beads are a solid line. They will not bend around a corner. They'll bend lengthwise, but they won't bend widthwise. In order to make something go around a corner, it has to be a series of individual objects like this weld bead, for instance. Now to get things to go around a corner, what I suggest is that if you could trim it just a little bit closer on one end than the other, if you're going to, because we're going to be butting it up against this circular object here, which happens to be a road wheel, and Archer does not condone gluing road wheels to the bottom of your tank hull. We're just doing this for demonstration purposes. Alright, moving right along. Again, slice through the clear film. Take your hemostat, flip it on there like that. And take your brush, rinse it out in the water. You don't want to get any of that setting solution on there before you get started. And then wet the back of the decal. And again, let that sit for about a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, minute's up. Just like we did before, what you're going to do is position this. If you're going around a curved object, the best thing to do is just to get the decal on there, run it straight across. Just lay it down straight. And you take your paper towel and dry your brush. You might want to soak up any extra water that happens to be on it, but not all of it. Just any beads or whatnot. Just so you maintain a neat working area. Then you take your microsaw and you spread it over the decal, and you want to go around the side of the part that you're going to be wrapping it around and get a little in there like that. Now gently and gradually take your brush and start, and you wait for it to soften. Now first, if it's not soft, it's going to kink up like that. So what you want to do is just keep pushing it around. It'll take a few seconds for it to take effect, the softening solution. Just be patient. Now you get too much on there, you can soak it up with your brush. And that's all there is to it. Now we're going to take and dry that too, so I'll be right back. Okay, it's all dry, and there you have it. Now, if you notice that I'm applying this to bare styrene, this is perfectly okay, but as with any other thing that you've never used before, please do an experiment first. The easiest way to test to see how these things handle is to cut the part number off and use that, play with that. Bare styrene has to be clean. I found that the best way to clean bare styrene parts is with a product called Fantastic or Formula 409. They work very well. They remove all kinds of grease, any kind of parting agent or whatever happens to be on the plastic. But the plastic has to be free of oil. Now, resin. There are so many different kinds of resin that I can't test everything, but I do know from experience, or from my customers' experience rather, that some resins, no matter what you do with them as far as cleaning goes, that these do not stick very well. In the case of that, either do a test before you start applying them, or you can always spray it with a clear coat or a coat of primer or whatever to make sure that the surface detail rivets, the decals will adhere properly. Again, if you're ever trying anything new for the first time, always experiment with it. Don't try something on your finished model that you have never done before. All right? Other than that lecture, that's about it. I can't think of anything else. It's just really that simple. They're decals. They apply just like regular decals. So, bye.